Yeah.
See the next handshake and e4 is on the board.
Yay.
Are we going to see another Italian?
Oh,
Does look like it.
He's sticking to his opening choices, and also is Daniil after goes for bishop e7 again. Like you said, this is just his opening right now.
Once again, rook e8, and this time Hans goes for knight g5, which he didn't do in the previous game.
Okay.
So it could be his idea that he's trying to provoke h6, then the knight would move back to f3, and then white could have created a hook with h6 and tried to make use of that by playing g4 and g5.
Okay, so going for an attack and white not castling yet, I think that's always slightly scary. Knight d4, wow, very interesting move by Daniil.
Drops back the knight to f3.
And c5.
And c5 on the board, weakening the d5 square, but also just cementing the knight on d4. And Hans goes for g4 anyways.
Okay, now without h6 on the board, this seems like it's not as scary. But, I mean, how will black play? Now, do I go... going bishop e6 is normal. However, I want to play b5 at some point now. I don't want to be attacked, you know, on the king side. Then you have to have some... Whoa!
Knight takes e4.
Whoa!
Oh,
did you see Hans look up when this happened? I think Hans has some blundering days these days. Not days, blundering day. Maybe just today. It's not maybe a blunder because I am not... I don't think I'm losing a pawn, right? After knight e4, d5, I get it back, but very unpleasant, I think, for white.
Yeah, difficult. How are you gonna reply to d5? You don't want to give up the light squared bishop.
No.
Then all of your light squares would be weakened.
I have to go bishop a2, right?
But yeah, bishop a2, d takes e4, then the knight on f3 is hanging as well.
Sorry, so bishop a2, d takes e4, I take on e4 myself.
Oh, you take there. Oof, everything is protected there, yeah. You are right. But knight takes e5 instead, so now Dubov is gonna end up being a pawn down at the moment, but it looks like fantastic compensation.
Absolutely, you're right.
The pawn storm on the king side is not really going anywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
And all of the light squares are just so weak.
Absolutely. I would even consider going f5 here to open up the f file. King on e1 is too weak. If I had two moves, I would go queen d2 long castle, put this king somewhere safe, but I do not have two moves.
Yeah.
Sadly.
You would love to play queen d2.
Yeah.
But fortunately, black has knight f3 there. Maybe queen h5 could be considered, but then there's knight takes c2, so he just eliminates the knight on d4.
Oh, and look at these two bishops against two knights. Wow.
Yeah, so strong.
This is going to be another very thrilling game. Of course, Daniil pawn down, but a huge compensation here.
Rook g1, nice idea, trying to get some knight f6 checks in, and therefore Daniil steps aside with the king, going to h8.
Yeah, doesn't want to allow any tactics to happen, but now how can I put my king into a safe zone? Because b5 is going to happen, I assume, from black's perspective.
Yeah, b5 is also there.
So yeah, h4, rook c8, h5 looks... Oh no! Another blunder by Hans, just allowing rook c4 to happen. Oh, I don't think... Maybe Hans didn't sleep very well tonight, you know, it happens.
Yeah, that was
time zone
unfortunate.
Difference, maybe is showing, it happens. He looks to be struggling in today's openings, actually. I think his chess is amazing, but I think his openings are the ones that are putting him into this position today, because Daniil may be slightly more prepared.
Yeah, I agree. Daniil has been showing his great preparation in all of the games, basically, showing these nice ideas in the opening stage. Still, we are saying that Hans is kind of struggling, but still he's leading the match. So that kind of sort of
true.
means something already. That he is kind of struggling in some of the games, but still has a lead at the moment.
No, it's crazy. Like, yeah, like he has been blundering these pawns in these three. He lost 3 games. Maybe this will be a 4th one. In all of them, I think there was some kind of opening problem, opening blunder. But other games, he's played brilliant. So if he just improves these mistakes in the openings, I think he could take lead very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we should also mention about Hans is that he's just playing chess nonstop, and it also gets so exhausting. Cannot imagine he's going from tournament to tournament, from match to match, and keeping those energy levels is just so difficult also in the long run. G6, trying to find counterplay.
Okay.
Queen takes c4. Now queen a2 might come. Rook e1. Yeah, Hans is looking like he's not really enjoying this position, understandably so.
Yeah. Okay, it's not over, but Felix, how are we finishing white off? Or would you say it's not that clear anymore?
I think it should still be kind of a clear win. He goes for bishop f6, just guarding the pawn on g7. At some moment, you could think about going d3 or queen a2. I think this is only a matter of time for Daniil to convert it to a full point. Rook g3 still defending the d3 square, making d3 harder, but rook c8. Such a nice move. Putting even more pressure on c2. Take on f7, h6.
Oof, h6. Do bishop g6, but now, okay, these bishops are just very strong, but
King g8, what a move.
he doesn't even want to take the pawn.
Yeah,
No need.
just using the g7 pawn also as kind of a shield. Yeah, exactly. And now queen c2 is a threat. I think Hans might need to give up the exchange on g6 here. 2 seconds, 1 second.
Wow.
E2.
Hans, come on, play faster. I know it's hard, but okay, it's no, this is just a struggling position right now. Is d3 just winning, by the way?
Yeah, d3 looks powerful, and he does reach for it.
Yeah.
And Hans resigns, yeah, that game did not go as well for Hans as he probably wished for it. His idea with knight g5 looked interesting, but Dubov's idea with knight d4 was, I think, a quite nice counter. Just immediately trying to play in the center. Usually that's a good idea when one side is playing on one flank of the board, like Hans did with the move knight g5. You immediately want to counter in the center, and that's what Daniil did in this game very instructively.